Hello, it's Vicky McCarthy from Aussie Stampers. Thanks for joining me again today. Today I have a gift bag which has no stamping, just a little bit of sponging, and you can create this fold out gift tag just using Designer Series paper. So you're going to start, and I'm using the watercolour paper, with a piece of Designer Series paper at 9 and 12 inches, score landscape at 1 3/4, 5 1/2, 7 1/4 and 11 inches. So you're just going to start with that 9 inch by 12 inch piece, then turn it to portrait and you're going to score at 1 3/4 and at 8 1/4 of an inch. And that's all your scoring done. So now the next thing you need to do is just score along your fold lines and just use your hands for this. With Designer Series paper, you don't need to use a bone folder. You want to be quite gentle with it. You can see where all those fold lines are. And you're going to cut away the small rectangle at the bottom corner. There's just one small rectangle, that's the one you're going to cut away, and I've just cut a bit of a wedge into that extra piece there, so it will sit nicely. Just cut up to the score lines. You're going to make 3 more cuts along the score lines there. And you're going to adhere some double-sided tape onto the thin side, just where you've cut off that little tab at the bottom. I like using double-sided tape for this because it's a bit easier to deal with than sticky strip, and because it's Designer Series paper, not cardstock, this will hold the bag really well. You can see when I'm using double-sided tape, I always go over the edge and then cut back, so this gives you a really good firm hold on the corners. Now just peel off the top. And then you're going to fold this so that you can just adhere down the side. Just make sure you get it nice and straight. And then that's going to be the box. And you're just going to fold in those bottom flaps and put some more double-sided tape down the bottom. And then this is going to form the base for your gift bag. It's really pretty paper, this. I do like the watercolour paper. It's very soft. Peel off the backing. And just put your hand down inside the bag just to make sure it has adhered. And you're going to fold down that 3/4 inch piece along the top. This is going to form the top of your bag. Now this part here is a little bit tricky. You just need to make sure that when you fold it like this, that the edges match. And you can do it, it's just that you've got a lot of layers of paper there by now. Now I'm bringing in a punch, and it's really hard to punch through this. If you've got a crocodile, it's going to be no problem at all. But I found on this side, which has that extra 3/4 inch layer, I just couldn't punch it through with a regular punch. So what I did was, after trying, I did one layer at a time. So you can see I'm just doing the front part, which was much easier to do, and then around to the back part. So you can break it down like that so that your punch can actually handle it. But a crocodile would eat that up in no time. I just don't happen to have a crocodile. Wish I did. Okay, so that's going to form the basis, and I've got some chevron ribbon in Island Indigo, and I'm going to make sure that the seam is at the back of your bag, and I'm going to feed that ribbon through from the front. And just push down the sides there so that your bag will cooperate with you. You could also create 2 handles on this if you wanted to by cutting 2 strips of the chevron ribbon and tying a knot in each end and feeding them through like a regular shopping bag that has handles. But I decided a bow was where I wanted to go with it this time. And just trim the ends just at an angle. So now for the tag. With the tag, there's no stamping, just a little bit of sponging, which is what I love about this project. It's not like a regular stamped project. You're going to fold some cardstock in half, and with the fold at the top of the punch here, or it's actually the bottom of the punch, but I've turned it around, you can see how I'm not punching all the way. I've left a little gap where that fold is, and I'm going to just pull it back and show you. There we go. So you can see when you punch that out, that means that that flower is going to form into a little tag that opens, and you can write the message inside. So that's a really neat trick. You couldn't do that with cardstock because the punches are only meant to cut one layer of cardstock, but they can handle 2 layers of the designer paper. Now I'm taking the Pansy Punch and cutting out another piece from the same paper, and the Petite Petals Punch, and doing the same for the centre. And the idea is I'm going to layer those up, but before I do, I think they need a little bit of definition. So I'm going to bring in some Island Indigo ink and a sponge, and I'm going to sponge the edges of all those pieces of this little flower tag. So just sponge the edges, and this helps the flower have a little bit of definition because it won't blend into the background of the bag quite so much. I ended up doing both sides of the tag, and that Island Indigo matches the chevron ribbon perfectly. Now going in with the Pansy Punch and the Petite Petals punched out piece as well. So this is a really decent sized bag, and it's easy to make. As you can see, there's not a lot of scoring or folding with it or cutting. Now I'm bringing in all my embellishments and having a look to see what might work. I'm thinking I'd like a yellow centre, Daffodil Delight, because that's one of the colours in the paper as well. And the first one I tried, that was a bit big, but the small floral button, I thought that just looked darling. So I decided, right, I'm going to go with the small flower in Daffodil Delight. Bringing in some glue dots and some dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop the layers of the flower up on dimensionals. There goes the first layer. And now another little dimensional for the Petite Pansy. There we go in. Perfect. And now for the centre, you can see it's opening and closing. You can see what it looks like there. And now just a glue dot to adhere that bright button in the Daffodil Delight. I really enjoyed making this bag. It was something a little bit different. Just the whole idea of making a tag out of a punch and not having a stamped image anywhere at all just made it something that was quite unique. And the way I adhered this was with some glue dots, and I had the folded part of the tag towards the top of the bag. And I just thought that would sit nicer when it's standing up than if the tag opened left to right. I wanted it to open just like that. So there it is. And you're going to find there's a lot of things that will fit into that tag, into that bag. I really enjoyed it. And it's quick, it's fast, and it's a good way to use up any of that paper that you have been hoarding. So here's the finished project. It turned out to be a really pretty little bag. I hope you enjoyed that project today. And if you are interested in joining my team in Australia, if you live in Australia and you'd like to join, even just if you're interested in joining as a hobbyist, you will still receive all the demonstrator benefits. So hop on over to my blog and check it out and read everything that's there. I'd love to hear from you. Bye for now.